You've probably heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And unfortunately, some of us are turning people off with that first impression without even knowing it. First impressions happen fast, and honestly, we don't really want to mess one up. So today, I'm sharing with you some real talk on the 5 first impression mistakes you might be making and how to fix them. And stay tuned for number 4. It might hurt your feelings a little bit, but I promise it's the truth someone needs to say. So get ready. We're going to call ourselves out a little bit today, but it'll be worth it. Welcome to the Creating Opportunities podcast. This is a place where we help smart, ambitious professionals create better relationships for success. And why? Because people matter. They're messy, but they make life better and they matter. And I am your host, Cassandra. I am a speaker, trainer, an iced coffee lover. It's important you know that. And I am here to help you make deeper connections. So let's get into it. All right, mistake number 1, looking miserable, AKA RBF. Now, I talked a little bit about this a few episodes ago on why first impressions matter, but some of us just can look miserable. Some of us, this is because we have actual RBF. If you don't know what that stands for, go look it up. But essentially, if you're ever the person who, when you're just walking down the street having a perfectly fine day and you're just in thought, and someone comes up to you and says, smile, it's not that bad, you probably suffer from RBF. Also, I always like to look at that person and go, my dad just died, and then see what they say to that. Like, how do you know my day's not that bad? But anyway, I digress. Looking miserable is an automatic way to turn people off. Now, if you are a person who suffers from RBF, we need to just make sure we turn a little bit of an upturned smile as we enter events, as we meet someone for a coffee, as we come on Zoom. But also, those of you who hate going to a networking event, who hate having to meet new people somewhere, maybe you're introverted, you also tend to just shut down. And when we shut down, we look miserable. And that reads to everybody in the room. So you also need to work on it and just make sure that we're smiling. Looking miserable is not approachable. Also, things like eye contact, things like an open stance make us more approachable. If you are in the corner with your arms crossed, sulking like, ugh, I don't want to be here, yeah, that's not a great first impression. No one's gonna want to come talk to you. You're giving off, please don't talk to me energy. Oh, and if you also have RBF, can you just put the straight-faced emoji in the chat? I would love to know I'm not alone. We all have to work on this. When I go to events, I walk in going, smile, turn it on a little bit, because it is not my natural resting face. Ooh, mistake number 2 to a bad first impression, talking all about ourselves. Now, this one often happens because we're nervous. When we're nervous, we tend to ramble. So someone asks, what do you do? And you give your full career history, or you give the origin of why you decided to make this career pivot and why you're there today, etc., etc. And nobody asked for all of that. They're like, okay, who do I go talk to? And please remember, good conversations are a game of toss. You are going to catch the ball that's answering their question, and then you need to toss the ball back. So they ask what you do. For example, I would say, oh, I speak and train on how to network without the ick factor. And then I would say, but tell me more about you. What do you do? And I bounce the ball back. You want to make sure you keep it moving back and forth. This is one that's really fun to practice in everyday conversation, even with your friends. See if you are starting to become the person, which I think we all kind of are, who just keeps going on and on and on about their own thoughts and never says, oh, what are you up to? Or what do you think of that? Leave room for other people to engage in the conversation. Don't just monologue all the time. Okay, mistake number 3. I'm gonna fall on my sword for this one. I have done this too many times. I have to work on it. Coming on too strong. Here's what I mean. Sometimes when you meet somebody, you immediately know why they would be a good connection. And I don't even mean that as you know they would be good for you. Like, oh, this person could be the referral I need to the job, or this person works in the department I want to learn more about, or this person is a great potential client. Sometimes it's that you just know you could help them in some way. I'll be very honest. honest. One time I was introduced to someone, the second I met her, I knew her name and went, she's a really big deal in the career space. And I'm like, oh, I would love to collaborate with her one day, right? So it was a little bit of knowing she could help me, but also I thought I could help her. I just knew immediately, like, we work in the same space, we could get along so well. Because of that excitement, I came on way too strong. I was not paying attention to her in energy at all, and she was real introvert energy, and little extrovert excited to meet her was like, oh my gosh, that's so great. So did you do this? And you've done this thing before? And oh, I read you did that. And it was like, okay, who else can I talk to? Like, I came on way too strong. I've done this before with, like I said, this is mine that I have to work on. I met somebody at an event a couple of weeks ago that she said she was new to the area. She does something that is, I would say, complimentary towards what I do. I could see us being able to help each other, but also I just know what it's like to be new. And so I was just too excited to help her out that at first meeting, I'm going, oh, it's so nice to meet you. If you ever want to get coffee sometime, or if you want to hear about different groups, or it was just too much too soon. And I could tell I freaked her out. Now, I had the best of intentions. I really was just trying to be helpful. I thought, oh, I can see how I could help her. We could get coffee. We could chat about other groups she should talk to. But she didn't know me yet. This would be like a guy coming up and going, hi, oh, you work in this area? Oh, I would love to take you out sometime. I would love to go on a date, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I don't, what? Right? So we can have moments where we come on too strong, too soon. So let the connection breathe. Play it cool, y'all. I'm talking to myself right now. Play it cool. Don't come on too strong, too fast. So even if you see a way you can help, you can just continue the conversation and at the end say, I see some ways we might be able to help each other. I'd love to get your card and talk further. And then when you talk further, you can give some of those ways and say, if you'd ever love to go to a coffee, that sort of a thing. Or just start by learning more about them. And then you can say later, hey, I see some ways I might be able to help you out. Would you ever want to get on a Zoom call and talk more, right? Don't try and stuff everything into the first 5 minutes of a conversation. Okay, the next one. This one makes a lot of people angry, but it has to be said. Looking sloppy. Whew, if you look sloppy, it's not a good first impression. This one goes to the everyday, because right now you're hearing this and you might be going, well, no, I understand that when I go meet somebody for a coffee, that could be a potential client for our company, or when I meet someone, an executive at a conference, I'm going to dress business casual, or I'm going to dress appropriate to the situation. But here's what I'm talking about. We never know when we're making a first impression. We never know the first time we're going to meet somebody who could change our lives. And so I'm going to challenge you to look presentable at all times. I am not saying that you need to be, like for women, full face of makeup, blazer on at all times, right? We don't need to be dressed to the nines, but I really want people to start thinking when you go out just to run errands or to grab a cup of coffee, would you be okay with your dream client bumping into you? Or, whatever it is that works for you, that crush from high school, if you ran into him, are you okay with that? Are you okay with your dream executive to work for bumping into you in the grocery store? You never know when that first impression is coming. So you want to make sure you look presentable. I used to have to explain this with college students all the time. I don't understand, y'all. College kids now roll into class looking like it's their own home, and they're in pajamas and their hair's in a messy bun, and not like, you can have a styled messy bun, but I'm saying like a true, I rolled out of bed and came here. They've got socks on with flip-flops, like just looking like crud. And I would look at them in this class and I'd say, I'm just curious. You don't know when a guest speaker is coming into this class. You didn't know that I was coming in today. I said, what if your professor next week comes in and says, hey, we have a guest speaker, and it is the executive of the dream company you would love to work for, and you showed up looking like this. Do you want to go up to him afterwards? Do you feel confident shaking their hand in that moment? Do you think that's a great first impression to make? Probably not. We all want to tell people like, oh, just come as you are, be natural, whatever. That's fine. If you think that, technically true, if you are comfortable being the person rolling up in sandals with socks and slides and your sweatshirt that you've worn 3 days in a row, if you think that's a great first impression, I'm going to disagree with you. If you're confident in that, go ahead, but it's probably not a great first impression. You probably should look a little more put together to give a good first impression that makes the other person want to get to know you. Remember, our appearance does change if we look approachable and competent. Start thinking about the way you look when you go out. Now, like I said, I don't go out with a full face of makeup all the time to go to the grocery store, but I also don't go in my pajamas or in stained t-shirts and a pair of gym shorts. No, not who I am, not how I'd feel if I ran into somebody. So don't look sloppy. And number 5, one of the worst ways to make a first impression is being distracted. If you meet somebody and right after you shake hands, you're looking over their shoulder or your phone keeps ringing and you're looking at your phone, being distracted says, I'm not paying attention to you. When you're meeting someone for the first time, attention is the best gift you can give them. So make sure you are focused on them. We talked about nonverbal cues a couple of weeks ago with eye contact. That doesn't mean that attention is, I'm going to stare you down until you feel like we're in a staring contest and you have to be the one who looks away. No, that's creepy. But you want to make sure you're giving them attention. And we all know the difference between talking to somebody and kind of looking to the side as we're talking and talking to somebody and going, that's interesting. That's really interesting. There is a difference between those two ways of looking away. You know which one is paying attention and which one isn't. Because remember, a huge part of first impressions is how you made somebody feel. And the person paying attention makes someone feel real good. So let me know in the comments, which of these do you feel you need to work on first? I mean, hey, I told you I can come on too strong, so that's the one I'm working on. But let me know yours in the comments below. And if this has been helpful to you and you think your organization could use some conversations around connection, communication, building more authentic relationships, including first impressions and beyond, feel free to check out my link below on speaking and looking at my speaker page and filling out the questionnaire to set up a time to talk. I would love to chat with you and see if I would be a good fit to come into your association or to talk with your team. It's my favorite thing to do, and so I would love to chat with you more about it. Now, if you missed any of the episodes around first impressions, you can check those out right here. There's a whole playlist. And if you want more help on how to network authentically and build better professional relationships, well, that's what this whole entire podcast is about. You can check out the full episode list here, and I'll see you over there. Get ready for a new series starting next week. Bye.